YouTube live, right?
Yes, sir. Hira.
Warm welcome to all. Hi.
Hira, it's okay. You say.
A warm welcome to all. As part of the Teacher Empowerment webinar series being conducted by our institution, today S&M Training College, Muthagunnam, in collaboration with Department of English, Christ College Autonomous, Irinjalakuda, have organized an international webinar on the topic ICT in Education during and after COVID-19. At the onset, I would like to welcome our HMDP Sabha and our beloved principal, Dr. Asha OS, who has provided wholehearted support to organize this event and who will be inaugurating this webinar. On behalf of our institution, I extend my hearty welcome to Father Dr. Jolie Andrews, CMI, Principal, Christ College Autonomous, Irinjalakuda, who has consented to felicitate this program. It is my privilege to welcome Dr. KJ Verghese, Associate Professor and Research Supervisor of Christ College Autonomous Irinjalakuda, who is the backbone of this program and one among the keynote speakers of the day. On behalf of SNMTC, I would like to welcome Dr. Andy Astrifan, who has readily consented to be one among the chief resource persons of the day. Hearty welcome to you, sir. I welcome Dr. Mutmaina, faculty of Al Azhariya Mandir University, West Sulawesi, Indonesia, who is also the resource person of the day. Warm welcome to you, ma'am. Now, I welcome all the participants from around the world who have become part of this international webinar co-hosted by S&M Training College, Muthagunnam and Department of English, Christ College, Irinjalakuda. Now, let me welcome our beloved principal, Dr. O.S. Asha, to give her inaugural address. Over to you, ma'am.
Respected Principal, Christ College, Irinjalakuda, Father Dr. Jolie Andrews, respected resource persons, Dr. KJ Verghese from Kerala, Dr. Andy Ashrifan from Indonesia, respected Mutmaina from Indonesia, and respected management officials of both the colleges, dear faculty members, and esteemed participants of this webinar. A smart good morning to one and all. At the outset, let me express my great pleasure to the officials of Christ College, Irinjalakuda, for collaborating with S&M Training College, Muthagunnam, a premier institution in the field of teacher education, for organizing this webinar. Today, we are living amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, the greatest threat in our life. This pandemic outbreak has significantly disrupted the higher education scenario as well, the greatest determinant of a country's economic future. This situation has transformed the global education scenario into a virtual mode of pedagogic practices and learner engagements. Of course, and challenges due to its hasty implementation. It is possible to overcome these challenges and concerns by adopting a multi-pronged approaches and strategies for its implementation. I hope today's webinar explore these possibilities. I wish and I expect that deliberations and the seminar will nurture your professionalism, hone your skills, and boost your confidence to engage in a virtual mode of pedagogical practices. With these few words, let me announce that this one-day international seminar on the theme ICT in education during after COVID-19 is being inaugurated with your support.
Thank
Once
you,
again,
ma'am.
wishing you a brilliant experience of this webinar. Let me conclude. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Let me now invite Father Dr. Jolie Andrews, CMI, Principal of Christ College Autonomous, Irinjalakuda, to offer his felicitations. Welcome, Father.
Okay, welcome. Am I audible?
Yes, Father.
Yes.
Yes, Father.
Okay. 1 second, may I remove the mask? Okay. 1 second. I'm very happy to note that today we are having a international webinar, ICT in education during and after COVID-19. And it has been organized by SNM Training College, Muthavunam, Kerala, and the Department of English of Christ College Autonomous, Irinjalakuda, is offering the technical help as well as jointly helping them to have this international webinar. Now, just now we had the welcome address by Srimadi Hira KS, the Assistant Professor from SNM Training College, speech by Dr. O.S. Asha. Forward in the ICT realm in the education scenario during this COVID pandemic time. Here, I would like to share a few words about our college, Christ College, which was started in the year 1956 by the Devamada Province Carmelites of Mary Immaculate, an indigenous religious congregation founded in the year 1831 by Saint Kuriakos Elias Chavra, was a saintly priest, a versatile genius who saw the education as a tool of liberation and development. And now affiliated with the University of Calicut, the Christ College has been re-accredited by NAC highest grade A and has as its motto Jivida Prabha, which means light of life. Now, Christ College is a part of century-old tradition of the CMI education, which offers an ideal vision of education that is aware of and responsive to the challenges of the nation's present situation. College became one of the prominent epicenters of academic training in the country, thanks to the visionary leadership given to it by its first principal, Padma Father Gabriel. At present, college has 27 UG programs, 16 PG programs, 11 departments having PhD research guides, and also offers 21 certification programs, and has also entered into MOUs with the University of Switzerland, South Africa, Leibniz Institute for the Applied Geophysics, Germany, which presents the students with an international exposure. Now, our campus is a lush, green, beautiful one, which is one of the lucky locations for many of the teacher films. A casual walk to the campus will definitely help one to strengthen the immune system. We think of health these days, and new models of education start to evolve in the wake of present pandemic crisis. Even before COVID-19 struck, Christ College has already ventured to e-learning platforms. Our Christ Open courseware is a learning field which includes video tutorials, lecture notes, and practice questions. Christ Open courseware YouTube channel has at present around 200 high-quality video tutorials prepared by our learned faculty members. Moodle software is used by the faculty members and all the students are enrolled in this platform, which has largely helped to carry out online learning process. And I think Christ College is giving the right leadership to the people around in COVID-19 times in terms of quality online learning mechanisms. Of course, teaching learning process is facing an unprecedented crisis. Previously, the teachers were a little bit shy when they are grappling with many of the online platforms. But now the era has come where the teachers have to jump into this digital way. Now, in this particular scenario, I think we have to break a kind of a mental shell that is around us, whereby we're looking at a technology with a little bit of suspicion whether it will belittle our role. So this breaking of the shell will be definitely useful for the students and who are very eager, especially from the student's point of view, they are very eager to look into the new forms of learning. And that, I think, will help to transform the role of a teacher into a role of a guru. As we already know, the word teacher in the Sanskrit has got a different shades of meaning. Adhyabak is a teacher who gives you the information. Upadhyaya, one who combines the knowledge with the information. Acharya, who imparts the skill. Pandit has got a deep insight in the subject. And the Drishta is a visionary and is a teacher who helps you to think in that manner. And finally, a teacher has to transform as a guru. Guru is the one who is able to awaken the wisdom in the student, leading him or her from the darkness to the light. Now, I hope and pray that the teachers, the faculty members, will use all the wonderful ideas that have been exchanged by many of the international figures for coming over here, by which they may be going for this transformation process, whereby they may be able to break a kind of a mental shell which they themselves have formed about the technology. And I know from my experience, Dr. KJ Varghese, our Dr. KJ Varghese from the Department of English, he's got a lot of science background with him, will definitely help you. And I special appreciation to the Department of English for co-hosting today's international webinar. I especially appreciate the SNM College, the organizing secretary, our beloved KJ Wagisa, everyone who have taken all the effort in order to make this webinar a wonderful one. I already heard that there are more than 1,000 participants here. So I offer all the I would say I offer all the happy notes about this wonderful seminar, whereby we may be able to collaborate in a wonderful way, especially with SNM College. And I make a special note about Sri Narayana Guru, who is also a very visionary in the education scenario, who asked us to look inward, not just look outside, because he has placed a mirror in a temple and asked the people to look to that mirror and see oneself. Especially in this COVID-19 times, we have to look inward also, not about just looking outside, we have to look inside, whereby we can have a kind of a transformation in our world scenario. May this joint venture with the SNM College, the Christ College and SNM College, be a model for the future kind of a collaborative work in our colleges. And may you all have a wonderful day. I offer my felicitations to you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Kiran, beauty.
Thank you very much, Father. Now, let us begin our sessions today. First, let me invite hello.
Yes, Hira.
Yeah. Hello. Yes. So today, Yes. The screen sharing is off.
Pardon?
Screen
Yes,
sharing
Hira.
is. Sir, can you please enable the screen sharing option?
Okay,
sir?
okay. And after that, I'll make you co-host. And after that, what you have to do is make sure that you stop it. Then only I
Yeah,
can
sure.
start sharing. Okay.
Okay.
Now you're made co-host.
Yeah, sure.
Now
Sir.
you can share. Now you can share the screen.
Thanks.
Yes.
Can you see, sir? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So today, we are starting our sessions today. The first resource person is Dr. K.J. Verghese, who is the Associate Professor of English and Research Supervisor at Christ College, Irinalakuda. He has presented papers in various national and international seminars in India and abroad, and has published papers in international research journals. He is editorial board member and peer reviewer of many journals. He is also a resource person for conferences on ICT, applied language teaching, and a keynote speaker in international webinars. He is a visiting faculty to state and national teacher training institutes and universities. He is an advisor and consultant of Digital Language Lab. He was the chairman of Board of Studies in Functional English at the University of Calicut and a member of Faculty of Languages and Literature. He has spoken in international conferences in Malaysia, Hong Kong, Nepal, Thailand, Oman, Vietnam, UAE, etc. He is a member of doctoral committees in several universities and a PhD adjudicator in 5 universities in India. His areas of interest are technology in education, NLP, and language and technology. Today, his topic will be ICT in education in present and post-COVID scenario. So over to you, sir.
Stop sharing. Stop screen sharing, Hira,
Yes,
so that I can.
yes. Over to you,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Hi everyone. Good morning, and it's good morning from India. I know there are participants from all over the world now. So naturally, it would be like Andy, you are sharing your 1 second. I'll do one thing. Okay, I think you can see me now. Andy, you can see me now. Yes,
Yes.
fine. Okay, in the main screen. Oh, that's great. So it's my duty to set the ball rolling, as the coordinator Hira said. So I'll begin with my presentation, and then go over to Angie. Will be the second speaker, Professor Angie, and Professor Mutmaina will take over after him. So to begin with, we are going through a period of crisis. We all know that. We are going through a period of crisis. At the same time, we cannot just keep silent. We are supposed to engage our students with whatever technology that we have. So, in my presentation, I'll be concentrating on why of ICT, why ICT should be used both in the present and in the post scenario. Okay, maybe in blended learning, and then what are the benefits of using ICT as far as, because most of our teachers have a lot of concerns regarding the use of ICT, but to tell them how they can use it in a very effective way. And I'll be introducing a few platforms, and towards the end, maybe conceptual note where how effectively that we can use all these technologies to the benefit of our students and ourselves. Okay, with those words, I go to my slides. So I've titled today's presentation as ICT in the present and post-COVID scenario. Here, when we speak of ICT, it's a word that we have heard a lot. Let me ask you what exactly ICT is. But before that, I would like to tell you the experience which I had maybe years back when I ventured into a research on ICT. Okay, because I came across a book titled Children's Machine by William Pepper. And in this particular book, he narrates an incident of three groups of professionals traveling 100 years into future to see how things have changed with their world, with their profession. They are surgeons, bankers, and teachers. Okay, three groups of professionals: surgeons, medical surgeons, then of course bankers and teachers. And when the first group, that is the medical surgeons, when they entered the operating room, they were stunned, or they couldn't do anything because all were electronic gadgets, and they said we can't do anything, they said. Okay, because 100 years they lived 100 years back, now they have traveled 100 years into the future to see things, how things have changed, and they said all electronic gadgets, they cannot do anything. And bankers, they were quite stunned and wonderstruck as they were traveling itself, because they found people collecting money from the roadside, of course, ATM. And it was not there in their distant dreams that money can be collected like that. Money could be collected like that. So what happened was they were surprised to see, because of security reasons, you cannot keep money on the roadside. But in a present condition, we have kept it in ATMs. And they said a big change. But when our teachers entered the classrooms, the same desks, same benches, but the blackboard, which is the first technology in the classroom, blackboard might have changed into a whiteboard or green board, and nowadays a smart board. So this only changed that. So there's a big question: why are we, maybe teachers or the educational system, written to when people in the all walks of life are doing it? People in all walks of life are incorporating ICTs or the latest technologies into their profession and getting maximum benefit out of it. So, I'll be addressing why first. So when we speak of this, but we have a big change in the classroom. Our students are digital natives, whereas we people, hello, if I ask all the Zoom participants to mute. Yes, all the Zoom participants to mute so that the presentation won't be affected. Okay. All Zoom participants are requested to mute themselves. Okay. So ICT in education, and I ask also Laya ma'am to mute. I think it's being heard from the other side. Okay, you might have kept the.
Maybe the host can help us to mute.
Okay. Okay. Because since I'm presenting, I am the host itself. That's it. Okay. And see, Hira can mute. Hira is a co-host, and Hira can mute all. Just go to the gallery and mute everyone. Okay. Right. Including Laya and everyone. Okay. Including Laya ma'am and all of you should be muted. You can do it. Yes. So, ICT in education, as I said, in the present and post-COVID scenario, what I was trying to tell you is about how ICT can help us, teachers. Now I think a big transformation or a big change has already taken place. A big transformation, what do you call, in the digitalization of, that's all because of COVID. Okay, so there are negative aspects, but at the same time, the whole world is now in a way taking all the measures to fight this pandemic. At the same time, in the education sector, big changes are happening. Okay, so let me ask you one question: what exactly is ICT? See, ICT in simple terms, a layman's point of view would be, see, something like IT. IT is information and communication technology. IT is information and communication technology. That is an industrial term whereas ICT is an educational term for its communication possibility. Okay, so IT, please, one question, please, Hira, can I hear you? Hira, yes. Okay, so ICT in education and in the present and post-COVID scenario. So when I say the flow, so here, uh, mute everyone. Ask Laya to. So here, I would prefer both the principals muting themselves. They can hear, okay, because there are a lot of disturbance coming in. Yes. So, yeah. So ICT in layman's point of view would be information and communication technology. But I'm sure if at all you don't know what ICT is, I know everyone knows what IT is. IT is industrial term, information technology, and ICT is educational term for its communication possibilities. Okay, so when we speak of this is what I should begin with maybe defining ICT. This is ICT. I am indebted to Professor M.U. Piley for this slide. I'm a visiting faculty to uh, Regional Institute of Education, Mysore, and this was a slide prepared by him. What is ICT? ICT is nothing but retrieving information, transmitting information, storing information, creating information, processing information, collaborating, communicating, displaying, and receiving information. So, in a way, all these is part of an ICT. See, e-learning comes some way. E-learning is so ICT is an umbrella term which speaks of, applications, softwares, which will help us to retrieve information. See, these are the different, what do you call applications through which we can retrieve information. And for transmitting information, we have so many: internet, WAN, GPRS, intranet, infrared, so the Bluetooth, all are for transmitting information. Okay, and for storing information, we have all these hard disk, flash drive, etc. For creating information, see, that's something very important in content delivery. Okay, we have to create information too. In the new normal, so-called new normal, we have in a technological way of teaching, we need to create information, and we have so many audio, multimedia, text, blog, screen, authoring tools, etc. And for processing information, we have again so many different tools. And for collaborating, we have so many. Yeah, this is something very important for teachers. Nowadays, we need to collaborate a lot. We need to network a lot. And then for communicating, we have forum, and that's also for in interpersonal communication and group communication, we have e-forums, instant chats, a lot of. Then for displaying information, we have all this, and for receiving information. So in fact, ICT is retrieving, transmitting, storing, creating, processing, collaborating, communicating, displaying, and receiving information. And don't worry about seeing all these different applications and softwares. Okay, we need not master all of this, but we need to master only a few so that we can help our students, we can reach our students. Teaching is often said to be reaching, and especially in the pandemic, we need to reach our students, and we can reach only through latest technology. So this is ICT. Now, what is behind this virtual classroom? See, I'm familiar that you're all familiar with digitization. Everything can be digitized. Everything that can be digitized will be digitized. Text, pictures, voice, video, all can be digitized, because these are the things that we use in our classroom: text, pictures, voice, and video, and everything can be digitized. So interactive conversations can be digitized, and interactive environments can be digitized. So in a way, the whole classroom can be digitized. So even in the pandemic time, we can reach our students through virtual media, because whatever we do in the classroom can be what they call digitalized, and we can reach our students. Okay, so next is an important point. What is ICT in education? Because ICT is used for, latest technologies are used for many other purposes. And what exactly is ICT in education? Hello? Hello, hello, Hira, Alaya. Please mute yourself. I think, or you can, Hira can mute everyone. You are a co-host, and please, Laya, please mute your side. I think it's happening there. The problem is there because I hear the YouTube voice now. Okay, so here ICT in education. Yes. So this is ICT in education. ICT in education is teaching, learning, assessment, professional. So when we think of ICT in education, first what comes to our mind is teaching, learning process. Okay, teaching, learning process. And there are two important aspects. One is the content delivery, and the other one is creating content. Creating content is very important. E-content has to be created, especially in the asynchronous platforms. If you want to deliver your content through asynchronous platforms, you need to create the content. And content delivery, these are the two aspects of teaching learning process as far as teachers are concerned: content creation and content delivery. And we have so many tools for creating content. Authoring tools are there are there are different call with which you can create, say computing devices are there, laptops are there, so many different. And then on the other side, content delivery methods are main. So maybe you are familiar with Zoom, Google Meet, and whatnot, Big Blue Button, Moodle. These are all, Microsoft Teams. So, and then you have websites. So content delivery. So in teaching learning process, we are, interested in content delivery and content creation. Creating content, you have so many different. What we will be discussing it maybe on a later occasion. And then on this side, we have a lot of what you call content delivery methods, teaching, learning. The other one is assessment. Assessment, see it portfolio and the wikis, LMS, and Google Forms, etc., forums, etc., can be used for assessment. I'm talking about not the end semester or summative assessment, mostly what you call the formative assessment can be very well done through this. And then the professional development. This is something very important. Professional development for teachers. Because I used to say teachers who are not networking are not working. Okay, teachers who are not networking. Okay, it's all because of networking that we get these kind of resource persons from all over the world to address us. We can listen to them. So networking is very important for teachers. So I would like to repeat it. Teachers who are not networking are not working. Okay, and then administration. I'm sure that the colleges might have taken steps to make everything automated. Library is automated now, office is automated now. That is the administration part. So we'll be concentrating on teaching learning process, professional development and assessment in our presentation. Okay, so this is ICT in education, and we have so many different applications and softwares. Now, something very simple, I'll just very quickly pass through it to convince that how media is important in our teaching learning process, how we can make use of media, the latest technologies in our teaching learning process, so that our students are benefited, we are also benefited. It is said that we learn 1% through taste, 1.5 through touch, 3.5 through smell, 11% through hearing, and 83% through sight. What happens when we go to the class and give the class? See, here everything is one click away. If you want to show a video, if you want to bring in some other ideas, if you want to show charts, if you want to show, so everything is just one click away as far as latest technologies and ICT are concerned. So it's quite easy for us to engage students with all these different kinds of information. Okay, so here, so through sight is important. And next one, it is said that we remember 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear. Yes, 30 plus 20, 50, 80% of what we say, and 90% of what we say and do. Again, 90% of what we say and do. In a virtual platform, see, this can be increased maybe because we do virtually things which can be easily done, may not be possible in a traditional classroom. Okay, so 20% of what we hear, and through the latest technologies, we have this way of giving maximum to our students, maybe adding up 20 plus 30 plus 50. Okay, so that is one. This is how they remember. because most of our testing process is limited to remember and understanding, which we will discuss later. Now, I'm sure that all teacher educators are familiar with this. Edgar Dale's cone of experience. Okay, and see, tip of the cone. Verbal method is often said to be least effective, and this is directly proportional to the retention level of our students. Okay, so see, the tip of the cone, verbal method is least effective. Then we go to the next one, teaching aids, non-projected and effective. Chalk and board being the first technology in the classroom, than verbal. Okay, we all know. And as we go down the cone, base of the cone, it becomes more effective. And see, projected aids, a PDS scope, film projector now, the slide projection, more effective than non-projected. And then direct experience is supposed to be most effective. Direct experience. See how even then it's virtual, but even then through ICT and latest technologies, we will get maximum of direct experience. Okay, and that is most effective. So it is directly, so there is, you need not worry about using latest technologies, both now and also after COVID scenario. In the classrooms for blended learning, it will be very effective. And not only very effective, it will and because our students are digital natives. Okay, because and they need a kind of multimedia environment to study better. Yes. So this is Edgar Dale's cone of experience, which is directly proportional to. So as we go down the cone, base of the cone is maximum effective. So naturally, if you could incorporate all this media into our teaching learning process, naturally the students are going to benefit from that. Now, yes. Now let's. What is the impact of this information revolution? We all know that we are in information revolution, and what is the effect here, because that's very important for us to discuss use of ICT in our teaching learning process. There's a metamorphosis of new processes and practices in all spheres and of human enterprise. All, that's why I said bankers, surgeons, see, everywhere people have changed and they are using technologies to their maximum benefits. So we teachers are supposed to do it, revolutionize human interactions across the world. Okay, and information revolution has what do you call revolutionize human interactions across the world. That's why we enjoy all this. We have people from Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, US, all attending this conference, and they are going to give us feedback. At the same time, we have people all over. So the whole world has what they call emerged into a global village. Into a global village. So we cannot just sit in our own classroom and say that we will teach our students. Yes, we can. But let me tell you, the old concept of a good teacher was a person who is 100% dedicated and committed, who often thought four walls of his classroom, his world. Okay, so only such a dedicated teacher can think of four walls of his classroom, his world. But let me tell you, the concept has changed. Now, a good teacher is a person who can bring world into the classroom. A good teacher is a person who can bring world into the classroom. And how can we bring world into the classroom? Through the latest technologies. So the latest technologies through ICT and internet, you can bring world into the classroom. Now, and this information revolution has some educational implications. Now we have been talking in general. Now let's come to the business. This information revolution has an education is a tremendous challenge to teachers. Tremendous challenge to teachers. And let me tell you, it is not challenges, they are opportunities. Let's talk about opportunities and yes, of course, there are they. You will be speaking about digital divide. I know there is digital divide. Okay, but how can we overcome this digital divide should be the question. See, Kerala is a model now with live streaming of classes on TV. Every home has a TV now. If you are streaming live, what's wrong? Okay, it reaches everyone. And you are asked to go to the what you call libraries and nearby panchayat libraries, etc. to collect these information. So tremendous challenge to the teachers. I would change it because I made this a little earlier. I would change this tremendous opportunities and possibilities for teachers to rethink their basic tenets. That's first thing we should do. We are conditioned in such a way that we think that classroom teaching can take place only in the classroom, and students think that they are also conditioned in such a way that the students often think that learning can take place only in the classroom. Okay, so that's a change to rethink their basic tenets, basic principles and concepts of teaching learning process, to deploy the media in creative and productive ways. That's another thing. To deploy the media. See, we have so many media available. Okay, to deploy the media in creative and productive ways, to restructure education to respond progressively and constructively to the social and technological changes. Yes, we should be ready. We should restructure our education. And I think COVID may be, in a way, asking us or forcing us to do it. Okay, right. Now something about our learners. See, our learners are different. It's not the way that we learned our students are learning or are supposed to learn. See, there are next generation learners. They are millennials. They are electronic communicators. You just don't know the speed with which they communicate on their phones and what do you call it, with their SMS and the chats. They are multitaskers. That's another thing. They are multitaskers. They can do the same thing at same thing. Or two or three things at the same time. You might have seen your kids doing their homework, listening to music, and watching TV. They can, but there is a problem. Okay, that is their attention span has been reduced. See, earlier it was thought of that the attention span of we human beings were 20 minutes. That's why we have 20 plus 20, 40-minute classes in schools. But now, let me tell you, our attention span has been reduced to 10 minutes, not ours, our kids, because they are multitaskers. They are doing many things at the same time. So the attention span has been reduced to 10, just a half. And for them, they need multimedia to learn because they need to have, because they are multimedia generation. So, and they are digital natives. Such people, because I've read somewhere that students, when they enter our traditional classrooms, they switch off power and they have to power down. Okay, because they have nothing else to do in the classroom, just sit and listen, and we make them passive learners, because our style is often fire and forget, but we should be like guide and mentor. We just go to the class, deliver a wonderful class, come back. Okay, and we forget about it often. The students forget it because it's just the lecture method that we have used. So naturally, that is fire and forget. So we have to change from the attitude of fire and forget to guide and mentor. And gone are those days where teachers were stages on the stage. They are just a guide on the side. Not in the new normal. We are guides on the side of the students. We are not sages on the stage. So multimedia learners. So we are multimedia learners. Multimedia learners in the sense, we need to have many input from, because we need to have multi-sensory input. See, input through different senses for maximum learning. And we are all online collaborators. Our students are online collaborators. So technology is at the center of their learning and interactions with information knowledge. So we cannot deny technology to them. Technology is at the center of their learning and interactions with information and knowledge. So we need to bring in technology into our classrooms, and especially now in our online teaching, whether it is synchronous mode or in the asynchronous mode. Okay, so that's it. Our students are digital natives. I'm specifying it, but we have managed to keep them passive, because they say they have to power down or switch off power. Because let me tell you, by virtue of our students entering our traditional classrooms, we are taking 100 years back in history. We are taking them 100 years back in history, because 100 years back in history, the classroom was almost the same. Okay, so that's it. So let's now, what is the impact on teaching and learning? In a quite short period of time, ICT has marked effect on teaching and learning. The use of ICT in classrooms is bringing about change. What it has to bring about change in way the teachers teach and the way the students learn. So there's a big transformation is going to happen. See the UGC, MHRD, and all educational uh, agencies were trying it for I think around 10 years, but nothing much happened. Okay, I've been delivering a lot of classes and courses, even refresher courses for teachers. How we can incorporate ICT into our teaching learning process. Big changes have not happened because we are not forced to do it. Okay, so the use of ICT in classrooms, a big change. Okay, the way teachers teach and the way students learn. See, there is a shift. See, teachers were just what you call teachers were in fact knowledge transmitters. They were, you see, in the traditional classrooms, we were knowledge transmitters, primary source of information. Okay, but in the new normal, in the OCT way, teacher is a facilitator, a learning facilitator, a collaborator, a coach, a knowledge navigator, and a co-learner. That's a shift from our group now. We were going to the class and teach them for, if it is teach them 55 minutes, maybe mainly through verbal method. We teach them. Okay, and what is happening there? A transmission of data. We transmit data and information. It never reaches. I'm reminded of Bloom's taxonomy, and in the revised catering in our traditional classroom is just remembering and understanding maximum, and evaluating, creating, analyzing, etc. are there. But what we in the classrooms often deliver the first part, the base of Bloom's taxonomy, mean the remembering and understanding. We are knowledge transmitters. We just transmit data, that's all. Learning, but here the new thing, learning facilitator, a collaborator. We have to collaborate with teachers. I've heard in the new normal, teachers saying, no, I'll teach my own students. See, you have to teach them collaboratively, share. Then coach has a different dimension altogether. Teaching or a teacher is a person who dwells only in the cognitive domain, but a coach is a person who has to dwell in all three domains: cognitive, psychomotor, and also I mean affective domain. The skill set is important. Okay, so we have to be coaches instead of what do you call teachers, knowledge navigators and co-learners. On the other side, teacher controlling, directing aspects of learning. Yeah, I know whatever we do in trying to make the learning learner centered, student centered. Now our classrooms are teacher centered. Most of our classrooms are teacher centered. Okay, and how can we shift? But here, teacher giving students more options and responsibilities for their learning. In this particular new normal, teacher should give students, or we are forced to give them more options and responsibilities for their own learning. Yeah, that's true. Because, and let me tell you, students have to be self-regulated, self-motivated, and students have to be self-directed in order to get maximum out of this teaching learning process. Okay. So whether it is intrinsic or as extrinsic motivation, students have to be. Otherwise, there'll be so many dropouts. That's what I see. Okay, because there were many other things when students come to our classes, especially in arts and science colleges. I don't know how many of them are very keen on what they call getting higher education. But there will be naturally dropouts. There may be. Okay, I don't know. So teaching, teacher controlling and directing all aspects of learning. All aspects of learning. That was the traditional classroom. Here we shift a lot of responsibilities to them, and we have to be changed. We are not ready as teachers to shift the responsibility. We have a lot of concerns. What would happen? Okay, and students are conditioned in such a way that they can learn only in the classroom, they say. Otherwise, they are using all these gadgets for chatting, for fun, for entertainment. But I don't know how many students have used it for learning purpose. So we have to train them how to use these different gadgets for learning purposes. So this is a big shift. This is a paradigm shift that I was talking of. Teacher is there in one. Yeah, teacher is not the center, student at the center. Teacher is just pushed to a corner, but very important. Okay, very important. And it is our duty to introduce students to all these different sources of information. It is our duty, because all this information, all these sources of information are just one click away. See, in an online classroom, all these are one click away. At any time, in within seconds, you can bring in a video from TeacherTube or YouTube. I prefer TeacherTube. You can bring in a chart. You can bring maybe a lot of information, but you need to what you call monitor it well. But so when I was presenting the same thing a few years back, see, one of the JNU professors stopped me. He was a linguistic professor. He just stopped me. He asked me to stop, and I stopped. He asked me, Varghese, what's your opinion? Can ICTs or computers replace teachers? This was the question he asked me. Whether ICTs or computers can replace teachers. I said, no, sir. No, sir. But I said, teachers who know ICT, teachers who know ICT may replace teachers who don't. I repeat, in the new normal, teachers who know ICTs may replace teachers who don't, but teachers can never be replaced because the social side is there, emotional side is there. All are very safe in the hands of a teacher. So teachers won't be replaced by, but teachers who don't know these ICTs may be replaced. I don't know. So and it's not a warning, but I incidentally said it. Okay, so it's a big paradigm shift that is happening to us. Okay, so here we have to go to all this. It's our duty to introduce. Now, going to the next one. Next slide. Okay, with this, I would like to go to what we call Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy, the difference in traditional classroom and also in the new normal, in the online or digital classroom. See, in the classroom, according to, see, I'm only taking the cognitive domains. Okay, I mean, we won't get time to discuss psychomotor and affective domains. But as far as the cognitive, because we teachers mostly concentrate on cognitive domain, that's why I took up this. Okay, in the classroom, what was happening in our traditional classroom? We were giving classes, remembering and understanding. Okay, our classes, maybe minutes or 50 minutes classes. I mean, the whole time we engage our students to help them in remember and to understand. But what about applying, analyzing, evaluating, and implementing? See, in the classroom, understanding and remembering took place. In the classroom, understanding and remembering took place. I know that I am speaking to a group of, and majority of our teacher educators. I have to be very careful and not speaking to general public. Okay, so in the classroom, understanding. See, just a thing. You should speak from your bottom of your heart. Okay, we may have our own ways of speaking it. Okay, we reach till creating. That is, in a way, incorporating what they have studied into new forms. That is creating. But let me tell you, most of our classes were limited to remembering and understanding in the classroom, and these were supposed to happen outside the classroom. But see the next one. Yes. Now, in the new normal, this is also the concept of flipped classroom. I'm not going to the detail of flipped classroom, but speaking for the general people, it would be out of the classroom, remembering, understanding takes place because we are delivering our classes online. I'm sure. See, Kerala has already declared 1 year mask and 1 year, compulsory social distancing. So how can we have classes? Can we keep our students in the classroom, maybe affecting social, distancing, physical distancing? It's not possible. So in the new normal, there may be classes in shifts in the sense, now they are coming to class every day. Instead, they will come to class only maybe twice a week, and there will be shifts. So the teachers may be asking, see, we are already repeating the same class as far as science and arts and science colleges are concerned. We are already repeating the classes. Repeating the classes in our lessons in different classes. Now, should we repeat the same lesson in the same class because they are coming in shifts? No. See, most of the classes should be delivered online. Remembering and understanding, delivered online. And whenever they come to our classrooms, we will discuss. Applying, analyzing, and evaluating should take place in the classroom. See the change? Remembering and understanding, of course, what happened in the traditional classroom, now we are giving them online. And whenever they come to our classrooms, maybe in shifts, we'll be engaged them in applying, analyzing, evaluating, which means clarifying their doubts and maybe trying to apply, analyzing what they have studied, evaluating it, and creating in the way, maybe application of those in the in new forms. So this is a big change. Okay, even this can be even in the post-COVID scenario, when even if it from new normal, if it becomes normal, we can try out this, because we can deliver a lot of things online and prepare them before they come to the class, so that our classroom hours are used effectively, not for just content delivery, but for other parts, the higher cognitive domains, the higher cognitive levels like applying, analyzing, evaluating. The lower cognitive levels can be met. I don't say upper and higher, okay? Just I was because all are equally important, but okay. Hope I'm clear. Next, so what is ICT learning environment? See, I've just 5 to 10 minutes more because we started a bit late. I've kept my watch right. So ICT learning environment, how it is different? It is multi-sensory stimulation, my dear teachers. It is multi-sensory stimulation. Okay, please mute. Please mute. Please mute. Multi-sensory stimulation, but on the other side, it is single sense. See, in our classrooms, it is single sense stimulation, but in ICT environment, it is multi-sensory stimulation. And on the other side, single path progression, but multi-path progression. See, as far as ICT enabled teaching learning process is concerned, it is multi-path progression. It is single path. Exploratory inquiry-based learning. See, we often complain that our students are passive. We often complain that our students are passive, because in a way we make them passive. But in online, if you train them, if you guide them properly, it will be exploratory and inquiry based learning. There is information exchange taking place. Only information there. In our traditional classrooms, often there is only hello, please mute. Hello, participants on Zoom, please mute yourself. You're disturbing the presentation. Please mute yourself. Hira, you can mute them, Hira. Yes. Yes. So exploratory inquiry based. Maybe it is in the source itself. Mute, please mute. Okay. Who is that? Ah, yes. So sorry. So here, exploratory inquiry based learning, passive learning. Okay. So exploratory inquiry based learning, then passive learning. So passive learning, let me tell you, we make often our students passive. But let's give them a chance to inquire as they learn. And information exchange, information delivery. See, I showed you many information exchange platforms, e-forums, for example, for teachers and students. Okay, where they can centered learning. Often it is student centered. You may be wondering how online, because we can have small groups with which we can interact. You can divide the students into what you call fast, slow, and learners and address them. It's all possible online, but not offline. Okay, teacher-centered instruction in passive in teacher-centered instruction in traditional classrooms, whereas student-centered learning in online classrooms. Constructivist model of learning. Okay, more instruction occurs in small groups. Teacher moderates. Teacher is a moderator, a facilitator. Learning occurs so that it's constructive instead of what you call the old method that we often use in our traditional method. Okay, now synchronous teaching. I'll be passing through very quickly. See, these are the, I think you are all familiar with Zoom, Google Meet, Cisco WebEx, Skype, GoToMeeting. There are many. Okay, synchronous means both we and the students should be at the same time online, live. Often, because of connectivity issues and bandwidth issues, it is often difficult. See, it's often difficult nowadays, because when we had a kind of survey, many of the students preferred asynchronous mode of teaching. And what is asynchronous mode of teaching? It is through Moodle, Google Classroom, Edmondo, WhatsApp, Telegram. We give the tutorial videos or video tutorials or notes, etc. I mean, in these platforms, and students can access it at their own pace. Because especially in the digital divide, and especially in the present scenario, sometimes it is difficult for our students, okay, to attend our classes online always. I'm sure that most of you might have been told by your students it's difficult. Then the best thing is Google Classroom or Moodle, okay, or Edmondo, where you can give your own classes in the video format. Go for short video tutorials, prepared ones, which will and put it on the these platforms, and then naturally students will. So when we think of course, synchronous learning is good because we can have both students and teachers on live, and you can interact. But here it should be always followed by some what do you call tests, assessment, quizzes, etc. Okay, so in order to tell you in a quick way tips for creating a successful tutorial, video tutorial, because because many of our teachers find it difficult, it is very simple. Select the right tools. Don't be a master of all tools or try to master all tools. We don't need them. We need to know only very few, one or two video editing or screen capture tools, one or two online in platforms, Google Meet or Zoom or WebEx or that's enough. We are spending a lot of time for mastering all this. Okay, select right tools. Right tools, very important. Choose right recording location. That is also very important. Choose right recording location. Rehearse. I have many things to say about it, but I'm just giving you the tips. Rehearse before recording, because recorded videos are always better than live ones, often, because we take time, we prepare, and we record, we rehearse. Think about your viewers and think about your viewers, because when we are giving live classes, we have students in front of us. When we record videos, we don't have. But so think of them, see them in front of you and record. Keep tasks simple and clear, but all these should be followed by tasks. It should be very simple on Google Forms. Edit post production. Upload your tutorial video to the right platform. Very important. You should discuss with your students and come to an agreement which is a platform convenient for them. If it is WhatsApp, give the tutorials on WhatsApp. If Google Classroom is okay for them, so you discuss and finally come out with a solution, okay, for the platform. So and I'll be very quickly going through it, and if you need your tutorials, I can post it in the groups that we have created. Okay, one is OBS Studio. It's a wonderful, simple screen capture software where you can have your video, your audio, and your screen capture it. Studio is not that good for editing. You can edit it in live, or you can use then live, KDENLIV, then live for your video tutorials. Or there's a very simple one. This is extremely simple one. You go to the site, then there is this particular window will appear. Just click on start recording, and you record with you yourself, your PPTs, and also your video. It's a wonderful, but you can record only for 15 minutes, and it's better that you give your lessons, especially in the asynchronous form, 15 minutes. That would be better. Okay, because students cannot take the cognitive load is a problem for them often. Okay, then so these are the just two video editing softwares, and this is a very interesting one. An online puzzle maker. Go to www.puzzlemaker.com, and you can have wonderful puzzles made, and you can better your students critical thinking skills, problem solving skills, creativity skills, etc., because these are considered to be the life skills or 21st century skills. Whatever we teach English, we teach mathematics, we teach social sciences, we teach history, but the recruiters are often looking uh, for these things in the candidates, like problem solving, communication skills, critical thinking skills, and what do you call collaborative skills, etc. Okay, so maybe a puzzle maker is a very simple thing. If we have our answers, we have our questions, put them into the boxes, and it will come out with a wonderful puzzle. So it's a puzzle maker. Now, before I wind up, I like to mention technological pedagogical content knowledge. I think many of our teachers are aware of this, but we should reflect. In reflective teaching, this one, we should reflect or find out what is the status of these domains as far as we are concerned. Our content knowledge, I think, is very good because we have been teaching, we are learning the subject. Okay, content knowledge is very good. But teachers in arts and science colleges and other disciplines. Okay, teacher educators because you teach pedagogy, so you know things. Okay, then it's the technological knowledge. Okay, so if it's a happy blending of all these three, and if it intersects of these three domains intersect beautifully here, and it is TPAC, technological pedagogical content knowledge. So this is for teachers of other subjects, not the teacher educators. For them, you can think of verify or be reflective and find out the content knowledge you maybe seek is good. PK, and especially cybergogy. We'll be discussing this cybergogy. I mean, in the third speaker, we'll be discussing it. How to combine all this, okay? Pedagogical knowledge and then technological knowledge. Okay, and let me tell you, we need not know everything about, we need not know what do you call, something about everything. Don't go to master tools now. It's enough that you master one or two tools which are necessary. So master, try to know everything about something, not something about everything and you will be nowhere. Because I find now student teachers hunting for tools. So many tools. Now there are tools in plenty and they don't know how to use it. The situation would be something like this. Okay, when you have too many tools, the situation would be like this. It doesn't matter how many resources you have. If you don't know how to use them, it will never be. See, you have so many ladders, but see the person, how is he looking to the other side? Okay, so just to show you that. Okay, anyway, sorry, I'll wind up. So this is TPAC. Now evolution of learning. See, the first, first technology in the classroom was blackboard. First technology in the classroom was blackboard and chalk. And now you can think where you are. Technology, whiteboard, marker, PowerPoint. You may be here sometimes, or I don't know whether you are with ICTs. Okay, take your own time and progress through this continuum and be a very effective teacher. Now, influence of COVID on education, general assessment. See, positive outlook is opening new avenues in the field of education, paving way of learning new resources, giving an opportunity to experience new technology interventions, enabling learning new skill sets. New skill set. We are learning new skill sets, reinforcing the need for continuous learning, right? Lifelong learning, because a teacher and everyone is a lifelong learner, and that is only through possible through ICTs. Okay, not classroom learning. We have to stop at one point of time. Creating a totally new education vertical means engaging different groups, maybe without costing much. Vertical education. I'm sure most of our educationalists are after that. Making education vertical. This is a Microsoft NBA term. Okay. Now, negative influences we all know. We are worried about that. Closure of institutions, increasing compulsive use of electronic devices, effect on general well-being, then social disengagement, denial of extracurricular activities, exposure and experience. We say teacher-student disconnect is there, challenges in sustaining relationship is there, creating sense of all these are there, uncertainty and everything is there. But let's have the positive outlook because this is a big. And if somebody asks, who led the digital transformation of education? Is it UGC? Is it MHRD? But I would say it is COVID, because these agencies were trying very hard for many years together to for a digital transformation of education, but finally COVID has managed it. And let's see, in the new normal we'll be going for blended classrooms. Blended in the sense teaching online and also or reaching the students flipped classrooms is a wonderful concept. Okay, that's it. So it is UGC, not MHRD or UGC, but COVID, which has affected digital transformation of education. And see, now you may think a teacher should be like this. The backs is there, building new paradigm, information. Yes, yeah, this is maybe the way that we have to get trained through these webinars, etc. Sets, 20 sets of skill sets for 21st century. A thinking pedagogy, I think. Okay, and return home maybe after this seminar. Okay, not this seminar, like this many webinars. And this is what I would like to tell you. I have already told, we may have so many resources, but we should know how to use one of them. See, one of the those ladders will help him to climb over and see what is happening on the other side. But yes. So let me tell you, I'm winding up. Using technology successfully in the classroom is a mindset, not a skill set. My dear teachers, it's a mindset. It's not a skill set. What we need to do is we need to, acquire skills in some of the applications. But after all, it's mindset that matters a lot if you want to be a technologically equipped teacher. So things are changing. We are moving from big universities to click universities, and I'm sure that brick and click universities are going to exist. Okay, and all our education agencies were telling us to incorporate ICT into our teaching learning process to the maximum. Okay, so it is a mindset that we need, and to wind up, the successful implementation of ICT in education lies not in hardware or software, my dear teachers, but in humanware. And what is this humanware? Teachers' ability to plan, design, implement, and evaluate effective pedagogical use of new technologies. Effective pedagogical use of new technologies. Okay, so it is human way. See, this pen was a big technology once upon a time. Okay, but we don't wonder at this technology when we use a pen and write. See, telephone was a big technology once upon a time, but now we are not wondering at it, but we are simply wondering at ICTs. And that time would come when everything is normalized. We'll stop wondering at ICTs and use them effectively in our teaching learning process. So it is not software or hardware, it is humanware. And what is humanware? Teachers' ability to plan, design, implement, and evaluate effective pedagogical uses of new technologies. With that, dear teachers, I wind up. Thank you. So I'm very happy teaching, and next two wonderful sessions are going to follow. Stay back with us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. So now I would like to introduce the next resource person of the day.
Hira, one second. I think we'll take up the questions at the end.
Yeah, that would be better, I think, because
Better. Are there questions in the chat box? If there are, will
very few questions are there, but I think that would be better to discuss at the end, isn't it?
at the end. Okay. So we'll go to the next speaker then. Okay then. Okay.
So, can I? Just a moment, sir. So, okay. Now let me introduce the next resource person of the day. Can you hear, sir?
Andy, right?
Yeah. Just a moment. No, sir. Now I'd like to introduce the next resource person of the day, Dr. Andy Astripan, who is the Faculty of Teachers Training and Education, Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidendreng Rampang in South Sulawesi, Indonesia. He is also a head of Students and Alumni Affairs of Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidendreng Rampang. He has published numerous research articles in leading journals, conference proceedings, including Scopus and Thomson Reuters, and he's an editorial board member and reviewer in various national and international journals. Today, he'll be dealing with the topic curriculum development and materials design, the digital technical approach. So let me now welcome Dr. Andy Astrifan.
Thank you.
Please welcome, sir, and hope to have a very fruitful session ahead. Over to you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, I made you co-host. You can share the screen now.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon from Indonesia. Thank you to the principal, faculty, and staff from SNN Training College, Muta Kunam, and Department of English Chris College, Autonomous Irin Jalakuda, India. My Excellency goes to Professor Fargis KG. Thank you so much for the invitation, both to the two college. Dr. Mutmaina, thank you. And all the participants from all over the globe. Today, I'm going to share with you all about the curriculum development and material design. In this case, digital technology approach. Before I start my presentation, so let me show you the short video here about what will the future look like. Based on the World Economic Forum, here the 7 technology tipping point. The first is technology about robot. There could be even be robot pharmacy by 2021. And the second technology is sensor. The Internet of Things is only going to expand from the sidewalk to work on the clothing we wear. One trillion different sensor could be connected in the internet. The next one is about the phone. We still remember that from year to year, our phone, the brain of phone, they're very useful. We still remember that the free first phone we just use just for sending a message and call someone, but now phone can use many more. The last is artificial intelligence. Okay, thank you. This is the next video. That's how the COVID-19 shut the school. This is the in China, Italy, and France, where giving lecturing to the student, and then the student just learning from home. Okay, so what are you going to discuss today? There are four main topic here. The first is we will discuss about the curricula and textbook. In this case, the curriculum design, and then the textbook that is a friend of school, and then the designing effective material. In this case, material and text. What's the material and text? Basic tip for designing worksheet, And the next is about the digitally designed material and some recommended reading and best practice. Let me show you about the guideline for design effective English language teaching material. Designing why we should designing our material. We have the advantage and disadvantage. In advantage, so because that is a contextualization and individual needs, and also the personalization and timelines. And then the next one is the resources and facility. The teacher must be realistic. Access to resources will impact on decision in the material design. And then personal confidence and competence. We have to connect to the knowledge, experience, attitude, and how to use guideline correctly. And then copyright complaints. In this case, restriction, implication, and awareness. And the last is we have to consider about the time sharing the material, how much time need to share the material, working in team and organizing the material. So here the guidelines, the 9 guidelines to design the effective English language teaching material. The first ELT material should be contextualized. The focus on the curriculum, experience, reality topic, and we have to consider the first language. And the second is material should stimulate interaction and be generative. In this case, learner need to interact with each other, a knowledge inherent in interactive teaching approach, and use language in real situation. The third one is ELT material should encourage learner to develop learning skill and strategy. Material here should teach how to learn and take advantage from opportunity outside the classroom. And then the fourth is the our material should allow focus on form of well as a function to develop independent language learner, to focus learner in language structure or grammar. And the next one is ELT material should offer opportunity for integrated language use, be able to introduce the new skill of the student and in incorporating a new activity. So next one is material should be authentic. Material have to be authentic. Material have be written, read and spoken, and also tasks have to be authentic also. And material should link to each other to develop the progression of skill, understanding, and language item. Material should be connected with other material we've done. For example, teach or lecture the student just one skill, for example, in just in speaking, but we have to touch all the skill. In this case, in language, there are 4 skill. We also touch and make the connected with listening, reading, writing, and also the other component of language, vocabulary, pronunciation, and so on. And material have to have organization. Material must be focused in the specific learning goal, and material must be created in reinforce and earlier learning. The last one is material should be attractive. Attractive here is physical appearance, user friendliness, and durability, ability to be reproduced. And the last is should be the material should be have appropriate instructions. Instruction should be effective. Instruction should be clear, written in appropriate language. Okay, so uh, let's discuss that. let's open our textbook at page blah blah blah. Please do this assignment and please read loudly, just like that. So some students feel that's all the same. I'm bored and so on. So this is just the image. The sometimes our students feel bored by looking their gesture, by looking their attitudes in the class, like this, and then uh, it's come also big problem in recent time right now, in COVID time, where some students feel difficult to to join the technological tool, like a device they didn't have, they have an good device, a signal, or so on. So this is some those are some consideration before we design material based on the student needs and our condition in our school. So here the curriculum design, there are three components. We have the state standard, and then also the textbook, and then also we have to consider the some consideration that I explained before. Here the student needs. So in state standard, I think every country have the standard curriculum. So based on the standard curriculum, we designed the textbook or the material based on the student need. So we do hope that it can be make our student interest and motivate in learning, especially in foreign language or second language. This is the systematic approach to designing and maintaining language curriculum. So in the top here, we do the need analysis. We have to evaluate the student needs and learning needs and target needs, and then we state the objective. We do the testing, material, teaching, and all the component here. We do the do the evaluation in every, for example, every semester or after academic year. The curriculum designed, we have input, process, and output here. So what is the content in input here? What content of what content of syllabus we have put here, and the next question is in which sequence of learnable unit or syllabus, and in process here, how teaching is carry out, and with which learning procedure, activity, or methodology, and the target or the output of learning here. The output here, what learner are able to do, and then the learning outcome after period instruction, for example, school year. Okay, so uh, this is the fourth design, central design and backward design for the syllabus and methodology. In fourth design, there is language center content divided into its key elements sequence from simple to complex, free determined prior to a course, and central design we have activity based content negotiated with learner. Sequence may be determined by the learner, evolve during course, reflect the process of learning, and then backward design and means approach, objective or competence based sequence from part skill to whole predetermined prior to course. And the methodology in and design the curriculum. In for design, we have transmissive of teacher directive, practice and control of element, imitation of language model, explicit presentation of rule, and emphasize on accuracy. In central design, we have learner center, experiential learning, active engagement in communication, and the negotiation of meaning and meaning prioritize over accuracy, and then backward design, practice of power skill, practice of real life situation, and emphasize on appropriacy. And the role of teacher and the role of a learner here in forward design and center design, and also in backward design, where the instruction model of language proponents, explainer, transmitter of language, knowledge, reinforce of correct language, and in this central design, facilitator of learning process, negotiator of content and process, encourages of learner self expression and autonomy, and organizer and planner of learning experience, model of language performance. And here we need also the learner of the role of the learner, where in form design, the learner accurate master of language form, application of learn material to new context, and understanding the language rule. And in central design, negotiator of learning context and modes of learning, development of learning strategy, responsibility for learning, and backward design here, awareness and mastery of situational appropriate language usage, and development of fluency. This is based on the chart that I will share the book, the chart about the curriculum development and material design. Uh, the textbook, that's the friend of full teacher type. So a textbook here is a resource of material, content, teaching, idea, learning support, and references. There are three type of textbook. The first type is like a systematic approach over by the textbook, but also adapt of replace textbook content with his or her own material. The next type is work exclusively with the textbook and follow its linguistic and contextual progression with further reflection. And the third type is believe strongly in authenticity, learner centeredness, and differentiation, and does a lot of time to design his or own material. This is some pro and cons in textbook, where in some concept based on the Richard 2007, and also Chersu. The pros here, the textbook, they like using textbook because that's the systemic and structure of material. The textbook is systemic, and the textbook has standardization from the curriculum of state, and they have quality because designing the textbook, most of the teacher believe that there are many experts uh, before publishing the textbook. And then the next is multimodality and efficiency and support. But some teacher or lecturer comes also about the textbook, because they think that in authentic language, distorted and or stereotypical content, neglect of student needs and in interest. Maybe the designer of the book has a different needs of the student in based on, for example, in the center of the city, and also in the rural area. They're very different. And then the skilling of teacher, and then should pay much money. And then design effective material in here. Some pros from the teacher, that will positive effect on the learner motivation, authentic cultural information, exposure to real language, and then support a more creative approach to teaching. And then some consider inferior quality or copyright in infringement, linguistic difficulty or mistake, lack of structure, sure, and limited time and financial burden. Here, how to evaluate the material when we design the material for our classroom. We have to check the contextualization. We have to evaluate also the stimulation of interaction. We have to evaluate the facilitation of learner autonomy, focus on form and function, integrated language use, and authenticity. This is based on a Howard and Major 2005. And also we have to appropriate instruction. We have to check the progression. We have to check the visual appear. For example, how to the type of the science, spacing, layout, the color of the textbook, and the picture put in the textbook. And also the last is flexibility. Flexibility here. How about the teaching approach using in the textbook, the methodology, language level, logistic, technology, evaluation, and outcome. Okay, here the material and text. So grading the text here, where the learner based on Nunan 2010. This is the grading text that we have to consider in evaluating our material. We have to consider the learner confidence, motivation, learning experience, learning pace, ability in language skill, a knowledge, cultural knowledge, awareness, and linguistic knowledge. This is some basic tip for designing worksheet. We have to consider the header, the margin, line space, margin, font, highlighting, picture, visual, layout, annotation, and also the footer. We that will be influence the student to make our student also interest and motivate in reading our textbook. So the last point here is digitally designed material in digital technology, where there are seven consideration here. We have to consider the efficiency. We have to consider the appear, creativity, education, mediation, sharing, and cooperation. In digitally designed, there are many tool provide in internet. I found I take out Mr. Professor Fargis that it doesn't matter how many resources you have. If you don't know how to use them, it will never be enough. That's the same that in internet there are a hundred and also a thousand a thousand material, a thousand website, a thousand tool that we have that we can use to enrich our classroom. Some of them is Poplit, that is about organizing and presenting idea. Just feel free to www.poplit.com, and then this website will help us to and then some of the tool also based on digital that can help us to design and also to present this based on like in a difficult situation like now. we have to consider physical distancing. uh, Texedo is word cloud with style. And then the other digitally tool here is Glogster. Glogster, just feel free in edu.glogster.com. This one can help us to interactive working space like this, that can help us to design the poster of vocabulary, or poster, or some uh, 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 history, or a poster about the literature, and many other grammar, vocabulary. So the other tool is learning application dot org in interactive teaching module like this. This one we can create, for example, the material based on the topic given in a website, like culture, educational system, grammar, listening, literature, music, pronunciation, vocabulary, and word. Then this one is very interactive website also. And then some of the tool here that can help us in digital area, especially in difficult situation right now in COVID-19. There are many platform over there, platform free, and some of them we should pay also. That is the in learn sailor org. We can join the course based on our expectation, based on the course. And then the other one is Quizlet. If you want to design the quiz, and then we connect it with our device, and then that easy our student uh, to to do the design. And then the other one is Quizzy. I think some of teacher or lecturer have uh, used this one, Quizzy. And then some also LMS, learning management system. A Google Scholar, that very interesting tool to manage our classroom in OneDrive, LMS, learning management system. Here also some best practice there during the COVID-19. I finished some course through some platform like in Coursera, uh, in Colorado, in University of London, John Hopkins, University Sydney, Irvine, and then in French about the how to write a scientific paper. We can lead our students to join. There are many platforms that can help them in digital area, to help our student in this situation. We can also instruct them to use a Plickr. They're very interesting to apply in our quiz. And the most famous platform is, I think, Facebook. This one, there are many group in Facebook, and then we can help our student to find out the material, and then invite them to learn all the material based in put in Facebook group, like in resource for English teacher. There are 1,000 material in this group. Okay, thank you so much for this time presentation. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Randy.
Thank you, Professor Andy. And it's again over to Hira.
Yeah.
Hira, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful presentation. So we just had a wonderful session regarding curriculum development technology approach. Thank you very much, sir, once again. Now, the next speaker, faculty of Al Azhar Mandar University, West Sulawesi, Indonesia. Her doctoral degree is in English language teaching through developing literature, and she has acted as the chairman of Language Department of Education Faculty, and she's a public relations in a university. She's a member of Association for the Teaching of English as a Foreign Language in Indonesia, Declan. She's a member of Loretta International University, Cambridge, a member of Association for Middle Level Education, AMLI, member of Lecturer Association of Indonesia, and member of English Lecturer Indonesia Association. Her interests are developing material and cybergogy. Today, she'll be dealing with the topic cybergogy in COVID times. So welcome, ma'am, and over to you for having a wonderful session.
Ma'am, you can share the screen now. You're made a co-host, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, wait. Is clear now? Can you say, Prof?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Event, international conference webinar. My Excellencies, all of the principal, the collaboration principle between Rinjala Chris College and ESN, and then thanks to all of the participants who attend this international conference webinar. So this is my short bio. My name is Dr. Mutmainah, and then I am a lecturer in the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education in Al Azhar Mandar University, and then this is my identity. You can find me there. I will share my topic about cybergogy in COVID time. Actually, as we know that during the COVID-19, we have or we get a shock culture, and then we try and practice a new habit as educator, as a teacher, and as a lecturer to integrate the technology, the artificial intelligence in our learning and teaching process. And then we are remote our learning and teaching during the COVID-19 because we are practice social distancing and physical distancing. This is the COVID or the pandemic effect. And then our menu today, I will share about the digital teacher, cybergogy, and e-learning design. Actually, Mr. Randy have explained more about how to design the material, Prof. Fargis about the digital and ICT in education as a tool, a technology as a tool in learning and teaching a process. The technology tool we are used today to make our learning and teaching to be more practical, effective, and efficient. This is about a digital teacher. We are now going to becoming a digital teacher. Why? because here we use technology, all of our teaching, our activity, our material, most of our activity in learning and teaching, most of them become in the digital now. This is a digital, the skill to integrate it in our life. Actually, we need this digital. And now we are, as an educator, we are a designer, we are a manager and assessor and developer. And then we are a teacher now. This is our position. Why we must becoming a digital teacher? Because we need to transforming our face-to-face classroom into a digital classroom. This is most of the tool to document our activities, our administration in language, in teaching and learning process. This is the digital technology. This is the power tool for learning and teaching process. And then here we are, the framework of a digital. We are here in the digital. We are a digital teacher. We must use some of tool or technology in our classroom environment, and then we remote our learning and teaching process by a digital. This is the digital classroom, and then to become a digital world, mean that digital world as a digital citizen. Prof. Vargas have explained more about the digital citizen. And the next, to become an effective digital teacher, this is the indicator. Actually, you must adapt with this condition, adapt with this culture and this new habit. We are now must define and evaluate authentic material. Mr. Randy has explained about that. And then use a social media to improve our development, basic information, communication, and a technology skill. We can use a software for to support student critical thinking. And then we must have ability to use a digital technology. We can file sharing, creating and posting a K-course document by online, and then the ability to teach using a multimodal composing. This is the indicator to becoming a digital teacher, maybe during COVID-19 or after COVID-19. And the next, this is our student. Mr. Prof. Vargas had explained about the student generation. Actually, our student in here, in Generation C, they are born digital. And this is the characteristic. They are high speed, multitasking, and iconic. They can collaborate and then doing some action or activities in the same time. And then they are a learning profile. Why we must identify and we must know who are our students today. They are conditioned, our audience. This is the learning profile. You must consideration that your student today, they are in Generation C. They are quickly to understand. They are multitask, and then you need to create or design or developing your material into the multitasking. And then this is the digital native do. Their characteristic, they are like or love to play electronic games, and then they can communicate in writing 24 hours in 7 days, and then they can adapt with face-to-face or they have 100 of virtual friends. That's why we must adapt with our student characteristic today, and then you analyze their need, what they want to create or to design your materials. And then this is the student indicator. You must identify your student today. They are in the digital learner. They can understand and demonstrate the benefits of a digital technology. They have a skill ability to experiment and create and innovate. And then they have skill to use internet and technology safely and responsibly, and have skill to using a digital technology during learning and teaching. But you must provide some application or platform. And then they have opportunity to use a digital technology. They can access online with high speed and have a confidence to embrace digital technology and the internet. Then they have skill, ability to select and use appropriate digital technology for learning, life, and work. This is the student digital learner indicator. And then this is one of the technology tool. For example, this is by Google. To becoming a digital teacher, you must have a comprehension how to create your digital classroom. This is, for example, by using Google technology or Google tools. This is a digital tool, for example, Google Classroom. And this is all of the component of the Google that you can use to design or to create your virtual classroom. And then for communication, you can use like email, a chat, a Google Meet, and then you can organize your material, your lesson plan, your syllabus, your assignment, and many more by using Drive. And then you can organize your classroom. And then as you know that Google have a cloud. This means that you can saving and store your all of your document, your administration in teaching and in learning. You can report by a cloud, and then you save, and then you can plug anytime and anywhere. The next, we are moving to cybergogy, the theory and the concept. This is the grand theory of cybergogy. Actually, cover all of the gogi family. What is the gogi family? For the first, actually, cybergogy, this is pedagogy and technology. And then during the COVID-19, we are in this condition. Our face-to-face learning, our face-to-face classroom, we are transformation into the online or full online classroom. And then we remote our learning and teaching process by using a synchronous or asynchronous strategy. I will tell you about the Gogi family after introduce about the pedagogy and the technology during the COVID-19. And then our mind today, this is about, we are talking about the high bandwidth and low bandwidth when we are remote our learning and teaching process. As you know that we have many problems about the Wi-Fi and then the internet with unstable connection and many more. So we can do or have a choice to remote our learning and teaching based on based on our student condition. For example, maybe your condition in the low bandwidth, you can use in this zone for low bandwidth video conference. Like today, we are
What's wrong, ma'am? Is it connection problem? Anything wrong? Okay, fine.
wait.
Okay.
I have bad connection. Wait, I have bad connection. Yeah. Wait. Okay. Wait, my bad connection here. I can remove my
Is it
Wait.
heavy rain in
Yep.
Sulawesi?
And as a teacher, before we are design our material, we must know your student condition. Maybe for the first time, you must know what the student be famous. Yeah, my student, them they are with for example using WhatsApp. So I remote my learning and teaching process. You are remote your learning and teaching process. This is for the bandwidth or asynchronous strategy. You can use the tool and video, and you can record and just like in your Google Classroom. And then in the green zone, when you are in the green zone, this is still a bandwidth category. You can use some of these alternative sample email or a reading with text and image. As you know that most of the unstable connection and they are have low bandwidth or have maybe internet in their home or asynchronous. This is synchronous design. You can use some of these platforms like or you can remote your learning and process by this is for low bandwidth for synchronous. And then this is high bandwidth by using a video conference. You can use Google Webex, Skype, or you can use Zoom like our platform today. And then actually this is the pedagogy. Well, you can say this is our student knowledge, how to drive our student, our material, they apply, evaluate, and create. Actually, this is the Bloom taxonomy. When you understand, this is the action that you can do. You can identify, classify, teaching, and report or paraphrase. This is many action first that you can ask your student. For example, or to understand your material and this activity, you can ask your student to create their mind mapping, their blog journaling. This is pedagogical, and you can use to create or design your and then this is the family. This is the pedagogy. Actually, what is pedagogy? Pedagogy of a teaching. And andragogy mean here the student have a self-direct learning, have experience in learning. They can read this, and they have need to know this is the heterogogy. Actually, the differentiate between heterogogy and the andragogy based on the learning. When you are remote, when you are learning and teaching by using in heterogogy category. I mean that here you shouldn't know how to learn with fundamental skill, education focus on process rather than the content, learning that is educator, move into work of the learner and explore. And this is help self-determined learning. And pedagogy, this is pedagogy actually related to the how the student to collaborate. Mean here when we are learning and teaching process by using this pedagogy, heterogogy, and pedagogy, to collaboration, to improve student competence skill, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and this is when you are drive your student to be a collaboration. You are using and then this is the cybergogy. Actually, cybergogy cover all of.
No, it's
And the
being
next,
shared.
eliciting the performance. This is actually this
Okay.
is
You're
stimulus your
getting it. No,
student to
one
doing
second.
the
My
practice.
name, ma'am.
Actually,
1
practice
second.
makes perfect. You can ask your student to problem
So,
solving and making
okay.
decision. This is related to the critical thinking
Now it's
skill
okay.
or
Fine. Let me continue.
host higher of thinking skill. And this the last post interactional phase after your learning process. You need to phase here, providing feedback, assessing the performance, and incensing retention and transfer. What you will do in the how to providing your student feedback this activity, you can ask your student to giving the confirmation, correction, and remedial or giving information or informative based on their own opinion. And the next assessing the performance, this you can ask your student and give your student a test, maybe pre-test and the post-test here. And then the last, you can ask your student to predict and giving hypothesis or solution based on the problem solving or the concept that you give for your student to giving the solution. And then the next, this is, I will share to you some of the application after your design your product from the text into the e-learning design, or this is one of the e-learning application, Lecturer Inspire. You can use this one of the platform. This is the content. You can audio or video. You can upload it in this application. The next, being mobile in the classroom, you can use one of the application. This is by using Android. This is all of the content. We have home, profile, document, and student, and have a feedback for the this is student groups. And then this one application you can download in Google Store. And then one of the application more to design your e-learning on articulate mobile design of the store. And then the last, this is what about to design your ebook. Actually, this is my ebook. You can website all of the material is based on the student and they want this material. And then what about artificial intelligence in teaching? Actually, artificial this is the choose our more practical, efficient. For example, you can use artificiality, dimensionality, and finality. Sorry. More in the Google Play Store based on your subject. For example, go a platform like Edmodo. Have you can class here, but the new one here, this Space Edu have a gallery or have materials in the platform. For example, this is the of the Space Edu. You can download it, go to the content. This is available as one of the language. My language Indonesia have Indonesia language. This is available Indonesian language. And when you wanna learn my language, Indonesian language, the virtual reality based on language. And then the next, our virtual, our artificial, we have a friend here, Suku. You can meet a cookie, you can talk, and you can discuss with you can find and meet cookie by this application. You can use Messenger or TikTok. And then this is my example. I talk to a cookie in session about the cloud, about the in Indonesia. And then friend, namely EVBoot. This is EVBoot. You can explore your and then connection and discussion many things based on project. Actually, I meet EVBoot just only to introduce my, because I am from language. But based on your,
ma'am, this audio problem.
And after COVID-19, this is my, yep. And then this is my activity. This is for activity by using my ebook, by using the student phone or handphone. And this is during the hiring process by using this, for example, I using Zoom. And what about the after quarantine? From the Education Without Border groups. This is the polling from Facebook. I found it from 435 respondents. They are agree. 70, most of them choose to Hi, Prof.
Ma'am, wind up, it's time, almost time.
And this is the last for after COVID-19. This is maybe for the close statement. We use technology as a tool in learning and teaching process. Who must be an inspiring teacher, and maybe after COVID-19 we still use a blended hybrid learning. And this is there are some of application to improve your studying. You can download it and do the experiment with this application. Most of them based on the level of Bloom taxonomy here. And remaining artificial intelligence can use to improving your course, your learning, and your teaching. And then stop learning because life never stop teaching. So I think for me, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I have a bad connection here.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello, Prof.
Okay, that's okay. Hira, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Actually, I have unstable connection here.
Yeah,
maybe this is mine.
It is okay, ma'am. That happens because some connection issues are there. That is why we couldn't hear it at a stretch. But your session was really good. And we are now coming to the end of the session. Now it is time for the discussions. Yeah. So if any of you seeing this have any questions, you can just post it on the chat box. And in between, there are two questions I would like to point out. That is from Shankar Ankush, the question is for you, Varghese sir.
Yes.
Yes, one
Yeah.
second. That is regarding this Bloom's taxonomy. So
Okay.
we just asked, do we have such a syllabus and equipments for creating, evaluating, analyzing, and applying in the classroom? So refers to Bloom's taxonomy.
Okay. I did speak about that, especially regarding classroom teaching, classroom delivery. I was concentrating on that, but I think that's our. I mean, we should not take that in the real sense of creating. See, for example, for the knowledge that we transfer to them should be put into new forms by them. That's the creativity that we are speaking of. Okay, evaluating. So, I mean, as Bloom says, and the revised Bloom's taxonomy says, see, what maximum happens in our classrooms is just remembering and understanding from our side. And we often don't help them much to for this evaluating. See, for example, this is again from I mean, the different activities through in the class. See, especially in the case of constructivist learning approach, we often try to include all this. Okay, so what happens here is, see, for evaluating and saying that it's not the examination, evaluation or assessment that we are talking of, but evaluating the message or the information that you have passed, going to the knowledge level, and they are putting this knowledge or this information into new forms with their creativity. These are the few things which are all part of the cognitive domain, cognitive levels. But often we consider them as higher cognitive levels. But even at most, what we do to assess them is through test papers. These test papers or in semester exams, to a certain extent, again checks their understanding level and remembering level. So in a way, to a certain extent, we need to go for the higher levels, and we need to have the what you call the, as you call, the equipment or the testing system in order to assess them. Then only it will be a complete learning process. We have seen only one side, that is the thinking domain or the cognitive domain. We have affective domain and also the psychomotor domain. As a coach, we will have to take all this into consideration, because we should see, there are problems at any in our system and the way that we go about. So if this COVID to a certain extent helps us to find out all that, that would be nice. That's my opinion. Okay, thank you. Hope I answered his question. Okay,
Okay,
here,
thank
next
you,
one.
sir. Yes, thank you, sir. There's another question put forward to Dr. Andy.
Yes,
So that is regarding, yes, Dr. Andy, I suppose you are hearing this.
yes. Dr. Andy?
Yeah. Does
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Uh,
this question is for you, sir.
yes.
Does our textbook fulfill the learning desire of every student? Does our
Okay, okay. Oh
textbook?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, get it. Okay, thank you for the participant for your question. Uh, Let me back to know about the what's the textbook itself. In this case, that the textbook should be appropriate to the teaching environment, especially for example, in the speaking of a second language or a non-English speaking environment. And also choosing the textbook is not appropriate to the teaching environment is a receive for a failure for both the teacher and student. And also I think previously I have explained some consideration before choosing the textbook, because not all the textbook is suitable for our student and also for our classroom environment. So some consideration, I think we have to look the learner situation. In this case, the need analysis, knowledge about the learner. Is it difficult or too easy? We have to consider about the learner experience, the learner first language, level of literacy, a level of their aspiration in this case. we have to consider about the textbook itself. In this case, the feature, the model of textbook, and also the interest and the purposes. The other consideration that I have explained is the curriculum and the context. The curriculum is and the context. Is it suitable with the condition in our school or in our province? And then resource and facility. Some of Facebook have link with website, and then but is it not suitable with some school in out of in the village or out of the city, that they don't have a good connection or a good device. So we have to consider the resources and facility, and then the person confidence and competence. In this case, knowledge, experience, attitude, how to use guidelines correctly, and then also the time here, the way to sharing the material, working in team, and then organizing the material. This is some, I think it's depend uh, it's depend that textbook fulfill the learning desire of every student. So we have to know about the student different background,
Connection.
based on the some consideration before we choosing textbook and then suggest to our classroom. Thank you.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, maybe can I give a suggestion to add Mr. Randy explanation? Can I?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, actually, to design and developing the material based on the student need, actually, this is the challenge for us as educator and the teacher. Our problem today, the problem from the teacher, the material, and the students. So the keywords to designing the material, you can ask your student what they want by distribute some of questionnaire or interview for your student. And this is as you know that the student today, they need a simple interactional. They need to be more simple, and then they want the activity with integrated the technology and multitasking. Or Mr. Andy explained before, you can collaborate your material by using application like games. For example, when you are giving your students tests or your assignment, you can design your test by using Google Form or using a quizzes. This is very interesting for your student. This is to integrate it with the technology. And then what about when our student don't have a smartphone or they don't have internet? I mean that in the face-to-face classroom, we can use some of the games, for example, role playing. I mean that ask and answer for the students. So we must consideration many factors today. There are we in the reality, most of our students don't have a smartphone, don't have a laptop, and many cities, for example, in my city, we don't have internet. Most of the students, they don't have the internet. So we must create some of our materials based on their student condition. I think this is the challenge today, how to create and how to design our material based on the student need, the student want, and the student condition to create their behavior to be more have motivation in learning during learning and teaching process.
Okay.
I mean, I think, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, there's one more question, sir, that is put forth to you. Is there any application like puzzle you introduced to promote constructivism? Let's to Wagi, sir.
Yeah, sure. See, There are many. See, since I didn't get much time to explain all that, there are a lot of applications and also websites, okay, web
Yeah.
tools where
Yeah.
you can,
Yeah.
create puzzles. Okay, puzzle maker, which I showed was just one. And naturally, there are many applications like that, which can help us in creating puzzles, because students, see, it is said that they often acquire these critical thinking skills, problem solving skills, etc. We teach them the subjects, different subjects, but they are supposed to, through the teaching learning process, through community living and things like that, they acquire all this. But if you can concentrate on this, because the modern recruiters or the industry needs it. So naturally, I think now in Kerala we have gone for such a industry related education, etc. way. At a higher education level, where students will, and there are so many applications. I can very well share it. I think both Angie and Mutmaina can also speak about this. There are a lot of applications which can be used online to develop the critical thinking, creative skills of our students. Okay, I just showed one.
Okay.
This was puzzle maker. Okay.
I
Yes,
will
ma'am.
continue from after you explain.
Yeah. You can.
Yeah. Can I share my screen? Just
Yes.
1 minute. This
You have to be quick.
the
Yeah.
Bloom.
Yes.
I have here a Bloom taxonomy application. Let me sharing. You can see here. This is the level of the Bloom taxonomy creating.
Yes.
This is the application. For example, any motto, more. This is the description, and this is the platform.
Yeah.
This is for creating. And the next, many
Mainly
more.
for language teachers. Yeah. There are many.
This is many more. Not only for language. This is for all of the
Language.
this model. This is many more. Algebra. This is for mathematics subject. And then analyzing. This is some of the application here to improve your student analyzing skill, competence. Yeah, critical thinking, and this is the application more. There are 79 you can find in this website. Yeah.
Could you share maybe
many more for
maybe,
understanding?
It would be nice.
This is the application and the platform.
You could share this.
Yeah.
Maybe we have
This is
we have created groups of
share to you, and this is artificial intelligence.
Yeah, that's
so many.
There are many. I
know.
So just share it maybe in our group, so that our students will benefit from that, or our teachers, not students. Our teachers will benefit. I know there are many.
Wait.
But
I will share the link.
You just share the link. Okay. Share the link to our groups, or send me.
Wait.
I'll share it in the group.
On the chat
Okay.
box.
No. Send me on WhatsApp. Send me on WhatsApp, and if possible, you can share it in the. Yeah, because most of our viewers are on YouTube. Okay, very few. Nobody is there on Zoom. Most of them are YouTube. So share it with me, and I'll share it in the groups. Okay. Or if you can share it now, I think Aman or Laya ma'am or Hira ma'am can copy it and share it in the YouTube link. Okay. Yes, Hira. Next question.
I do now.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. So now we have come to the close of today's session. So just before winding up, I would like to thank all those who have worked towards making this international webinar possible. So at the onset, let me thank the HMDP Sabha